everyone, and welcome to our first Saturday of Utah RemoteCon. I should say good morning instead of good evening. So we are so excited that you guys are here with us today. We have not 2, not 3, but 5 panels today. So you guys better buckle up. We have some awesome gaming-related panels coming up at you for the next few hours. So make sure you stay tuned and come watch us. We really hope you're enjoying the panels so far. Like I said, we've got a lot of really great ones lined up today. We have even more next week through next Saturday. So make sure you follow us on Utah RemoteCon on Facebook and Instagram so that you can get all those updates. We are raising money for JDRF, which is Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. And you can help us in donating, and you can do that at givebutter.com/Utah RemoteCon 2. And the link is right here below me. And it's also in our social media and the description of this video. We are also raffling off some prizes, and you can purchase raffle tickets through that Give Butter link. You just make sure you pick the ticket option and enter in your name. So the raffle prizes for this panel, pulling up my notes here real quick. We have some really cute prints from the game Animal Crossing, and that's by, oh my gosh, I'm gonna totally butcher this name. I think it's Frigonomy. And also we have a cute magnet from Noob Mama Comics. So it's not too late. You can still donate and try to get those. You can still try to get those. You can still try to get those raffle tickets. So make sure you donate. We will announce the winner at the end of the panel. So make sure you stay there for that. Okay. So this panel is online gaming etiquette. And I am not only your MC, but I'm also your moderator. So I'm going to bring everybody in. And
Hi.
there we go. Yay. So thanks guys for joining. We are excited. We'll kind of take turns to introduce ourselves. Let me get rid of that banner. There we go. Okay, I'm Marlee. I am from the Cutscenes and Cupcakes podcast. And it's a gaming podcast where we review video games and rate them in refreshments. And it's awesome because my co-hosts are also here, and they'll introduce themselves here in a second. I'm also in the Stolen Droids panel or podcast. So yeah, that's me. We'll just kind of go around the circle. So Erika, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, it's very early in the morning for me.
10 a.m.
I haven't spoken much, so my voice is real weird right now. I'm Erika. I'm part of the Stolen Droids family. I run the Let Us In podcast, which is a system-changing TTRPG. We are starting our 2nd season, which comes out on June 4th, and we've got Lindsey here, who's also in it.
Hi.
So, very exciting. That's me.
All right.
Hey, Collin.
I'm Collin. I'm part of the Stolen Droids podcast, also owner of the Stolen Droids media network.
He's our boss.
Boss, friend. It's all the same. It's fine. No, really excited to be part of this panel. I always love doing panels with Cutscenes and Cupcakes gals. So.
It's true, they're pretty cool.
They are the bomb.
Awesome. Lindsey, you go next.
Hi, I'm Lindsey. I am, as mentioned, part of both Cutscenes and Cupcakes and the Let Us In podcast. And yeah, they have both already been described of what they are, and I am so happy to be part of each of them and the Stolen Droids network.
Okay, Mandy.
Hey, so my name is Mandy. I'm a streamer on Twitch. So my Twitch name is Astra. So that's why I have Astra/Mandy. I'm a variety streamer, and I play pretty much anything. So currently screening my way through Resident Evil.
Nice.
Oh my God.
You have such a soothing voice that when you stream, I'm just like, I need this girl to do meditations, and I would
my gosh,
right.
thank you.
Fantastic idea.
I love it. Okay, Steph.
I'm Steph. I am the last member of Cutscenes and Cupcakes. I don't game
The funny one?
as much as everyone else. I was going to say I'm the funny one, but I didn't want to, just say the same joke over and over again. We just said it.
I
I
mean,
was
why
going to
on
say, you
your
better
joke,
remember you're
ma'am?
the last person of Cutscenes and Cupcakes.
We did save the best for last, so.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Oh goodness. Well, thank you guys for being here. We really wanted to talk about online gaming etiquette because all of us, as you can tell, we all have some gaming experience, and part of that is online stuff. And there is, I don't know, there's too much toxicity out there, and we've all experienced it. We've all come across it, and we just kind of wanted to talk about what are some of the best ways to handle some of those toxic people, and also ensure that we are being a good example of gaming etiquette. So we're going to kind of just go through that a little bit today. I kind of wanted to start off with a question just to make sure, maybe those who are listening don't know what this term is, but I wanted to ask you guys, and maybe someone can describe it for us. What is griefing? Does anyone want to answer that question just to kind of help people understand what that is?
I'll be honest, I actually really
I don't know what it is at all.
Really?
Yeah, I saw
I don't know
that. I
either.
saw that, and I was like, I don't know how to respond.
I probably know
I'll
what
take
it
this one.
is, but
I
I,
know.
don't
Okay,
know
go
the
ahead, Lynn.
word grief.
Griefing is when you have a significant advantage over another player, be it a weapon or gear or whatever, and you repeatedly kill them.
Oof.
Kill them.
Yeah, I know what that is.
And just go again and again, following them around and just
it's
kind
annoying.
of being a stalker, killer, evil, D-bag person.
Okay. Yep, that makes a lot of sense because the last time I rage quit in Red Dead, that's what was happening.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
sounds terrible.
And that's why I wore my Red Dead shirt. I know it's a crossover with Mandalorian, but
It's
I
perfect.
feel like a lot of my examples are going to come from Red Dead Online because I've spent significant hours there.
I think that was your number one game played on
In 2020. Yes.
2020. It was that
So
was
is that
me
pretty
and-
much like whenever I play Red Dead with you guys and you just one shot headshot shot me in 2 seconds?
I mean,
and then go to your spawn zone.
Except I agreed to it, so that's fine.
And typically I am the one in group play to shoot everybody.
Well, and I think I play Overwatch, and I think there's lots of times where I'm playing a character and someone's like, let me be that person. I'd be better than you. Let me play this person. And just over, so it's not the same, but it's come on,
It's just repeated.
it's a
rude
fair
behavior.
thing. I got the character before you. Stop being a douchebag.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just wait your turn. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
there's
part
gonna
of
be
online
another
gaming.
round.
Well, the same thing with Apex, right? When it comes to
Yeah.
Apex, you have to. There's an order, and you have to be able to play other characters. If you can't, then why are you playing the game?
Yeah.
It's not the game for you.
Yeah,
Go play
100%.
Fortnite.
Since you mentioned Apex, I was going to throw up this comment. So
Oh yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. My husband
And-
hates that. He's constantly playing Apex, and he loves playing with his friends just to simply communicate
Yeah.
and being able to like character picking and selection is extremely important when you just have the three of you on a team. So I think that is extremely important to be able to diversify your character playing ability because it will help a lot.
well,
Well, I
it shows. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go for it, Mandy.
I was just going to say, I think it also helps your own gameplay. I think that it helps your own what you add to the team, because if you only play as one character and you never switch it up and then you're forced to switch it, then you're screwed because you're gonna be like, I don't know what I'm doing. you know?
Yeah. And I think
Then
it's
you
just
lose.
a lot of immaturity both ways, never switching up your character, but also being so upset that you can't play who you want to play, that you
Yeah.
that you just can't play or
Yeah.
can't.
Or pout.
Well, I'm the
Yeah.
guest.
A lot of times it just feels like it's a tantrum from like a little child.
Yeah.
Mommy, I can't play this thing. Like, please let me play it.
Noob Master 69.
And it doesn't Noob Master 69 yet.
I'd love to highlight.
Oh my
So ROU is a big. Oh dear, that's my cat. A big level 1 geek fan and a big supporter of this kind of stuff. It says there are people who will grind and hustle and rust to get top quality stuff. If you grieve someone too much, it becomes too toxic, they tear them down.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, how are people supposed to get better if they don't get the opportunity? If you just keep having to prove that you're the best?
Yeah, and especially because like it sounds like a group thing. Like if somebody is bullying somebody too much, everyone's like, whoa, that's not appropriate. Yeah. Now we're going to take you down because you've affected the gameplay for everybody.
It's like Robin Hood.
So let me ask you guys, what can you do if someone isn't playing fair or they're pouting for whatever reason? Like what's the best way to handle that?
Rage quit. Just don't do that.
It's kind of what I'm going to go at though, because if it is not somebody that you know personally that you can tell to just be like, bro, like grow up, leave the server, go to another game. Don't willingly keep yourself in a toxic environment if you don't have to.
Yep.
Right.
Totally agree. I was going to say the same thing, is if you're stuck in or not even stuck, but if you join a lobby and someone's just trolling you and being a dick, then just leave.
Yeah.
There's so many other servers you can join.
It's true. Or, if you're playing, if you're able to play with friends and there's an option to do a private server, go on that and just be like, hey, you know what? I just want to play with my friends. I don't want anyone to bug us. Let's just have fun on our own. Yep. So there's definitely a lot of games have that option. Not all, but some of them do. And you can just kind of do your best to handle that. Yep. Any other thoughts?
I was going to say, sorry, go for it.
No, you. Okay, I was going to throw up this comment because there's a couple games that I do relate as like a toxic community. And I think it is because people don't call out their people. If you have friends playing, you need to call it out, or you need to be like an active participant and like, no, this isn't cool. Like what's the one? Oh, League of Legends. That's known as a pretty toxic community, which is unfortunate. You don't want to just think of a game and think, oh, do I want to play that because these people suck? Like, don't make it that kind of place.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny you say that because like I have been so turned off by League of Legends for so long because of like the toxic community is there. I don't even want to spend my time, like playing games like that if I'm just going to be harassed or something or whatever reason, so I think just like trying to find it from the beginning and just to be a nice, decent human, hopefully you can just make it better for everyone else that's going to be coming along.
Yeah. And we're definitely not trying to bash League of Legends. Like Marlee and I said, we've never played.
It's fun. I've enjoyed it when I've played.
There is like an aura. I don't know. There's like a feeling that it's not a safe place for everybody.
So I wanted to ask you guys, let's see. I guess while we're on this topic, like, so what are let's talk about some different games that we all can kind of recommend for any players that want like a fun online experience, but they don't necessarily have to worry about toxic players, or maybe there's different ways to handle that.
I
was recently guesting on this fantastic podcast where we talked about ESO for over an hour, and that was one of the PvP things was one of the biggest things that I brought to attention, was because when you play Elder Scrolls Online, you have the ability to turn off essentially combat invites. So you can do PvP, but you have to select the person and invite them to play. You can auto decline. You cannot just go up and kill a player in the world unless you are in a PvP specific area. You can go about and play your game, have a crap ton of fun, and not have to worry about PvP, yet still be playing with other players. So I would absolutely recommend ESO on so many levels.
ESO is a good one. Mandy, what were you going to say?
I was going to suggest a game called Deep Rock Galactic. Has anybody heard of that?
No.
Streaming that lately?
Okay. Yes, I love it so much.
Yeah.
So you're this little dwarf and it's like on a planet kind of a thing. And you go to different planets or different biomes to then mine different things. So there's no PvP at all. It's only PvE. So you can meet up with friends, or you can join other servers, or you can go with randoms, or you can do it solo. And it has such a fun gameplay, such grindability, where you can just keep going and level up your character. And there's 4 different classes, and the music is awesome, and it's just so much fun. I can't say enough positives about it. And the developers just put their heart into it. They always have new updates, and I'm still waiting for a female dwarf though. Still waiting for that.
What is it called again? I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Yeah, it's Deep Rock Galactic, and it's on Xbox Game Pass. So if you have it on PC or Xbox, I love it. It's so fun. And there's crossplay too, so you can play with PC.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Collin, Lindsey, Steph, do you guys have any suggestions?
I tend to play the most toxic games ever. I do not have a in mind. Although there is always a lot of different games that do have PvE options instead of PvP. So, for instance, like World of Warcraft, if you wanted to get into that, which is a huge game in itself. But
I've heard the newest one is so good, though.
Yeah, I have as well. I've considered getting back into it, but it takes a lot of time.
It's consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
That's
played
awesome.
since like Wrath of the Lich King, but so it's been many years. But yeah, like PvE options are a great way to where you don't have to worry about jumping into random areas and then having, some opposing player just kill you over and over again, and then you get your body back and then you go again. Yeah.
If that happens in WoW, do you lose any stuff?
You don't lose stuff. You have to repair your armor every time you die. It's basically kind of like Valheim. As far as you can retain all your stuff, but you just have to go back and get your body. But the minute you get your body, then they can kill you.
Okay,
I pretty think instantly again.
Oh, man.
That's one of the things I hate the most in those games is when somebody kills you and you lose all your inventory and you can't get it back. And I'm like, I will actively avoid those games.
Yeah.
That's how I rage quit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played Valheim in a while because of that.
For me, it's all about settings. Like, there's plenty of games that if you just turn off the chat or turn off whatever, like I understand the chat is helpful, and sometimes you'll get like a really cool team and they'll just be like, hey, like, go here, I'll do this, we'll make this excellent strategy. But like Overwatch, for example, I really like when I just turn off the chat and I can just play it, and it's such a positive game anyways, that like I'll just enjoy my time there and no one can really mess me up or, be annoying, except when they just spam like the same, like, hello, or, but
I need healing.
I need healing. Yeah. But I mean, even that doesn't happen so much. Like, it's not bad, but yeah, it's just all about the settings for me. There's plenty of games that you can just turn off the chat. You can turn off your interactions with other players. You can do a private server like Marlee mentioned, and just, make your own game experience that way.
For sure.
I think it really depends too on like if you're playing to like actively like level up to advance to different places, or if you're just playing for like the heck of it. Like, because sometimes you do want to be on the same page as your teammates, so you need to turn on the chat, you need to be active. And then there's times where, and unfortunately, I guess if I'm playing with people who have different goals than I am, I'm just like, hey, no chat, I just want to play for fun. I had a busy day at work and I need to blow off steam. Sorry.
Yeah. For me, I love everything you guys are saying. Like, I think it's so important that game developers have these different options in their settings, so that way you can customize the game how you want to play it. And then if you like, you come home from a long day at work or whatever, and you're like, you know what, I just really want to go like just crazy on a bunch of people or whatever, and then you can change those settings. You can adjust them just depending on your gameplay. I think another really great thing is make some friends, whether they are your friends in real life or you can make some friends online and form groups together. And that way you kind of have that, like, I'm going to use Red Dead as an example, Red Dead Online, because I know that when we've played and there's like we have a big posse going around, most of the time, majority of the time, other players don't mess with you because they're like, oh my gosh, that is a big posse. Like, I'm going to stay away because they will they will kill me. And so, you just kind of know to keep your distance from those kinds of groups. So I think it's strength in numbers for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think a good place to find friends is on Discord. Friendship. Yeah, I was going to say too that if you are interested in a certain type of game, go look up a server for that on Discord, because there's always those channels that are looking for players, looking for gamers to join in with. And I mean, some of my best friends are online, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely.
I can't remember the game name, but one of my coworkers was telling me about this game that he was playing, and literally you can like run out of fuel in the middle of space, and if you don't have friends on the game, then there's no way to get your ship back to the other point, and you're just stuck. And apparently there's like this Discord channel that's like a search and rescue.
That's amazing.
And so you just go on there and you say, hey, I ran out of fuel. And literally it's like this whole like team thing. All right, we're dispatching this many units and coming to we've got this many warships coming to assist you to get you out of this back area.
That's
interesting.
I love that.
It reminds me of
that's very wholesome.
Yeah.
Is that Astroneer? Is that what that is, Colin? Someone's saying, is it Astroneer?
It might. That sounds familiar.
It reminds me of Animal Crossing, because so many people, like with the turnips and whatnot, like so many people are just like, come buy them. This is a great, and some people are cutthroat about it. So just find your people that are like, just come get them from me. And you can find that
for me.
on Discord. You can find that. Mm-hmm. I mean, go find streamers. There's so many streamers. There's the big ones who like, you're not going to, like, you're just going to be part of their crowd. But there's so many small streamers that are just lovely and like will be very interactive with you and can become like good friends with. So
yeah, totally.
For sure. So I kind of want to go through some do's and don'ts. So let's kind of go through like what's some advice that you can give to a new online gamer, someone who just has no idea that they're not supposed to be eating into the mic. You know what I mean? Like someone who's just not even realizing it. So let's kind of go through some do's and don'ts. Let's just kind of spitfire.
I've got feelings about this. So make sure your sound environment is good. Like, I'm not saying that you have to have complete control over everything that you do and don't do, but like if you're eating, if your wife is screaming at you, if you need to be, if you have a fan running directly into your mic, I don't know what is going on with people, or music, like
music.
It's so easy to make your music.
Music is my favorite
headphones. Like you don't have to play it out loud. Like just like technology has advanced, so just play your music in your headphones.
And I'm sorry, especially if you're playing country music. I don't want to hear that.
Ooh,
yeah.
I mean, anytime. When it comes to these like 12-year-olds, when I used to play Fortnite a bunch, there would be these little kids that would just jump in, that I'd be matched with doing duos or whatever. And they'd have their music blaring. And it also was like this, and I can't even hear them. And I'm like, turn off your music. And they just, what? I'm like, I'm going to mute you, because I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And you can't communicate with the person at all. And they're the worst teammates. So don't do it.
For sure. And like every set of headphones, like every headset has a mute button. Like just flip the switch, take a bite, eat your animal crackers,
Yes.
whatever you're doing. And then when you need to talk, just flip it back on and just be like, hey guys, I'm getting murdered, and then turn it off. And
I saved a bite just for that.
I timed it perfectly.
It was awesome.
What other do's and don'ts?
I think like you bringing up like youths is a big one. And not that I want to definitely encourage youths to play games. Like I have a almost 5-year-old, and I think she's going to be a gamer because both me and her dad are gamers, and I'm excited about that. But teach your kids not to be douchebags. Like, and then I guess as you're playing with kids, like make sure to let them know like using slurs, saying like swears is not okay. Like that's not something that everyone wants to be a participant of. And because I feel like that's like one of the biggest problems is like these 13-year-old kids just saying the N-word over and over again, or because they've heard it from other people and they think that it's an okay situation.
Well, they have no clue what they're saying half the time.
No.
Right.
And like they don't understand the weight that those words actually carry.
And they also don't know who's listening, who else is there listening. When I'm streaming, I try really hard to not swear unless I'm playing a scary game, then it is all bets are off. Especially there was a part in Resident Evil where I thought I was going to die, like actually soul leaving my body. So other than those moments, I don't feel like most streamers, I think that most streamers are kind of going away from swearing all the time because it used to kind of be a thing, and streamers are swearing. Like you go onto a stream, you're going to expect that. Yeah. So that is a huge thing because you don't know who's listening and you don't know who's going to watch. And I also have kids, and I want them
trying
to
to build a good
out.
culture, right?
Yeah, and not toxic.
Like
for sure.
You definitely want to build a culture that's welcoming to everyone and not just certain groups of people. Like it should be kind of an all-inclusive thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Jake asked if I was discouraging swearing. And then this was a good follow-up response to it. When I stream or when I podcast, it's marked explicit or mature because I do have a bad mouth at times. And so like be aware of what your kids are consuming as well. I think that's a big thing. People will just give like this is a whole different topic, but people give someone like their iPad or something. Be aware of what's going on and what your kids are consuming so that you can be a good example too.
Yeah. And I always find it hilarious, like when kids swear, like unintentionally. I just want to bring that up, that I think that's hilarious. Just randomly, this little kid would just
it's hard when
you're, and I'm like,
it's hard when your kids swear because it's funny, but you're also like, nope, we can't do that.
You gotta wait until you're 18 and then you can do the swears.
So you mean my 3-year-old when she was 3 saying what the F in context is a bad thing? She was watching me play The Wolf Among Us, and
oh my god,
and that was terrible. That was real bad.
Hilarious.
But it was really funny also.
I feel like my husband makes my daughter swear more than I do, which is funny because I have a worse mouth, but it makes me so happy that Blake is the one that she repeats more often than me.
That's hilarious.
Oh, goodness. So some other things that we were kind of brainstorming out before the panel. I think it's really important to just like be respectful of other players, like especially if you're in more of like a free roam type game, to like if the other player is clearly not looking for a fight and they're not bugging you or anything, then just leave each other alone. Like there's no reason to just willy-nilly, snipe them from across the field or whatever, whatever weapon it is that you're using. Like there's just no need for that. And I think just knowing that there's a place and a time for those kinds of interactions and being able to recognize that.
I kind of want to bring up ESO again.
Go ahead.
So in ESO, there's an achievement for collecting all of the fish. All of the higher quality fish, and one of them is in a place that you have to go to called Cyrodiil, and that's the PvP area. And if you go in there, you're like, oh boy, this is gonna be fun, because you're just this one person going there to go fishing, and there's a bunch of stuff that it's just etiquette. If you see somebody that is on their own or is just chilling, fishing, trying to collect sky shards, something, that you leave them alone. It's just what you do. And one of my favorite things that we had talked about too was that if you are teabagging somebody, you can get banned.
From ESO, you can.
Yeah, if you are teabagging somebody in PvP,
That's amazing.
you can get reported for it and get permanently banned.
I come from like Halo days, like OG Halo, and so that was just like part of it, and so it's so funny to me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm
secretly a 12-year-old boy, and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like when I first realized that could happen, I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" But also, I thought that was a great way to flesh out the toxicity from what PvP can be. So I love the way ESO does things because it's such a community. Like, yeah, there are toxic people and they will kill you for fishing. Has not happened to me. But I love the things that they've put in place to help limit that kind of issue.
And that kind of goes back to
Minecraft too. Sorry,
go ahead.
I was going to comment on like Minecraft realms, being in someone else's server, talking about respect. You know, it's just if someone's doing their thing, you leave them alone. They're doing their thing. They don't want you to like mess their house up. And same with Minecraft. Like I have a server and that I've kind of had my little community join, and it's been really fun to have like see people's progression, and also they're all respectful. We're all adults, and you know, understand like, hey, you just spent like hours mining that crap. I'm not going to burn your house down, and you know. So I think that common respect and understanding about like the effort that someone puts into it just makes you a good human. You know, don't be a dick.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's the takeaway. Don't be a dick.
Yep. It's not that difficult. Just don't be a dick.
Oh my goodness. Lindsay, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I was just going to bring up that report button again. Like, you guys, there are teams of moderators and administrators there for you. And yeah, if someone's exploiting a game or cheating or griefing or whatever it is, just send them a note. Just be like, hey, this happened to me. It wasn't cool. It kind of ruined my game experience today. But I'll be back tomorrow to kill them. So, you know, like, whatever it is.
Revenge.
It's true. And definitely utilize those block features, because it's happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened to you guys too, where you're playing an online game and maybe there was some stupid moment where you're like in a fight with another player and they are just getting mad at you, and then in game, but then all of a sudden you get a private chat on your, like, so I'm mostly a PlayStation gamer, and all of a sudden in my PlayStation chat, I have a new message from somebody and they're just like starting to rip me apart. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, get out of here. And I know that's happened to some of you guys too.
Can I tell one of my favorite stories ever about that?
Please do.
So this was Fortnite days. So like when I was doing and I killed someone, and I never ever play solos because it just stresses me out. But I was playing solos and I killed this guy, and like I just danced on him because he was like coming at me and he was being annoying, and like again kind of a thing. I was like whatever. So I killed him and I danced on him, and he sent me an Xbox message and was like, just started like laying into me about being like this old lady, like you're lame, you know, old woman. And I was like, whatever, that means I'm wise, you know, like just kind of like getting back at him. And then I was like, why are you so upset with me? Like, you lost, just accept it. Like, you lost to a girl. I'm so sorry, you know? And he's like, it's not the fact that you're a girl. And I was like, well, then what is it? And he's like, it's because you danced on me. And then he did like the tear. And I was like, bro, I'm so sorry. Like, it's just kind of part of the game. If you could emote, you know, like that's.
Is this your first day in Fortnite?
Yeah. And he's like, okay, that makes sense. Thank you. I'm so sorry for getting mad at you. And it was like the most wholesome, like hilariously funny thing to experience. And I was like, it's all good, man. You know, like takes a lot to apologize. So good job. Just don't get upset at people. Don't send salty messages. He's like, okay, sorry.
That's
the best.
And I love hearing the positive things to come out of messages like that, because I have specifically turned off all messaging from people who are not my friends on PlayStation, because I don't even want to risk it. Like, if I have a real good gameplay and I kill somebody, I don't want them coming at me. So
Yeah.
I have turned off my messages, and don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah,
I know.
it's true.
No,
I think it can feel kind of narky sometimes to report people. But
Yeah, don't do it unnecessarily.
But I also think if someone's ruining your gameplay, they're probably ruining someone else's gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like be aware of what's going on. Like if it's just a little, but you know, like if it's a little thing, don't lose your cool. But if it's ruining your gameplay, that's not cool.
Yep.
And absolutely don't report somebody just because they killed you once. You know,
Yeah.
No.
you need to be.
That's just a sore
you need to be
loser.
like,
Yeah.
that is really terrible to do. Like, don't be a horrible
Reason for
person.
reporting, they killed me.
Yeah.
There was somebody that we ended up blocking in Red Dead because I think it was us three. So Marlee, Lindsey, and me. I think it was us three, and maybe Jason was there. But there were these two players that kept coming at us and killing us, and it was just a nightmare. So we switched servers because we're like, this is dumb. We switched servers. We log in, like 30 seconds later, they spawned in next to
That
us.
was so freaky.
And it was so
so
creepy
weird.
because it was like they'd followed us to another server. Like, how on earth did they do that? That's not a coincidence. And so we're like, okay, this is an appropriate time to block this person because it appears that they are following us in a really weird
Yikes.
manner.
Well,
So,
not
like-
only did they follow us, but then they did try to engage
They
with
did.
us in like again, and we're just like, look, guys, like we left. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's also important too to like take the hint. Like
Mhm.
if you're seeing that the other person is retreating, you know, after you've been engaging in some PvP time and the other person's leaving or they've left, like maybe they fast traveled somewhere else or whatever, then let it be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like obviously they're done and they want to move on. So just let them.
Yeah. It's always super nice too when like someone from the opposing team does message you and it's just like a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Like I was playing Overwatch one time and I had gotten like 5 medals playing Moira and was just like and basically like they couldn't even get past the first start of the round, but that guy was just like, dude, I don't know how you did it, but like mad props and like do you want to join up and play and stuff? And I was like, man, why can't more people
cool.
be like this?
That
Like,
is
awesome.
It's true. Just
I like that he
admitting,
tried to get you to come to his team. He's like, we would win if this guy was there.
Acknowledging the person's skill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So I kind of want to switch our focus a little bit. I want to talk about streaming because all of us here have streamed. I think Mandy is probably the most experienced out of all of us. And but we all are streamers as well. So I know, Mandy, we were kind of talking off screen about etiquette on streaming. Do you want to kind of maybe make some comments about that?
Yeah, love to. So I am an affiliate on Twitch, and I've learned a lot over the years, and I've learned a lot also by watching other streamers. And I think, Steph, you're mentioning that there are a lot of good communities, you know, and that you can join in on and get a good feel for. And for me, I want people to be able to come in and talk and have like a real conversation. And some of my chats will have like really heavy stuff because my dad has health issues. And so we talk about that. And, you know, other people's parents kind of go through stuff. And so being vulnerable and being real on a stream, I think is so human and people relate to that. And everyone knows someone who's struggling with something, you know? And so if you are yourself and you're open about that, I think that that's so, for me, it makes me feel like I'm not alone and stuff. And especially this last year, it was like so needed. For me, that's kind of what I try to do with my community is just be myself and not really be too different other than trying not to swear because that is rough.
I feel you.
Yeah, but some of the do's and don'ts, similar to just gaming online, is having a good setup with your mics. People can actually hear you and communicate with you. Being able to monitor your chat in some ways. So right now I'm building a PC, so I don't have everything streaming through the PC. I'm still waiting on that stupid graphics card to ever come available. But you need to be able to watch your stream, your chat. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to actually have a good community. And trying to avoid trolls and stuff like that. There are a couple things that are really helpful if you spend some time setting up some things with your Twitch mods. So the Stream Elements is what I use. Also Nightbot and Streamlabs. Those are some helpful things that you can use for those. But I have it set up so that, speaking of trolls and people just ruining your day, I have it set up where anybody who comes in and tries to post a link will get instantly timed out. They have to be a follower or a subscriber or something. And also having a good mod for you really helps. So those are a couple things that I've found that really help. In terms of thanks. Much love.
That's so nice.
I do really have an awesome community. They're the best.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I just real quick, for those of you who haven't seen it, I did throw Mandy's Twitch handle up there. I did spell it right? Astra Orbits.
Yes, I didn't see it wherever you posted it. Oh,
no, you're good. And then I'm also going to put a couple of the rest of us who also stream, just so you guys can see that. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Mandy, if there's something else you're going to say.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, just in terms of people coming in and saying stuff inappropriate, because that will happen for anybody. For girls, I feel like it's more prevalent because it's a very male-dominated section. Same with gaming in general. But just don't buy into it. It's the same thing with the trolls in any other sort of gaming setting. If you try to combat it, if you try to explain yourself, it just they just get stoked about it and oh yeah, I'm going to say this instead, and this is my angry typing, hands. But but there have been a couple occasions where I'll say something if it really is annoying to me, but otherwise I just block them because there are always going to be other people who like you. And there's, what's that phrase? It's you can be the juiciest apple and there's still going to be people who hate apples,
Right.
You can't please everybody. So just be yourself and be happy with yourself is what I would say. And especially with streaming. And honestly, playing a game like Resident Evil, I'm talking about that a lot because it's what I'm playing right now. But having that and having people hanging out with me, oh my gosh, game changer. There's no way I could finish that game if it weren't for people. I'm just sitting with my controller like this to my face because I'm terrified, moving forward. It's having people you're good, take a breath, you're good. That's so helpful. So I love it.
Sorry, I was going to say, I really like what you say about being vulnerable. This remote con, on our last remote con, we've had a panel called mental health, pop culture and mental health. And I think those are two of our most popular, that's one of our most popular panels because a lot of people are turning to gaming, turning to pop culture because they're struggling and because they want people who can relate to them, but also can kind of help them through it. So I think it is important to be a little bit vulnerable and because you don't know who else is going through something similar to you or can relate to you. So
or who's already been through it and they can help you through it yourself. Because that's
along those lines, how do you kind of separate trauma dumping versus vulnerability with people in chat? Hi, Pax.
Sorry.
That is adorable. That is a great question because you're meaning when someone sits in there and they just start explaining their whole life story. This is also what I'm doing. Apparently, this is how I type. But you're talking about when people just kind of overshare, right? Yeah. And they go just uncomfortable level. The redirection is kind of what I do, and if people have done that and have seen it, and it can be uncomfortable for other people who are in chat. And that's my number one thing is I want people to be comfortable in my stream. And I try really hard to respond to everybody's comments and to be very aware and to acknowledge everyone's commentary when they're there. But so you want to acknowledge someone when they're going through something, especially because you don't know how many other people they have to talk to, but what I've done in the past is, let them say their piece and I'll say, hey, it sounds like there's a lot more you want to talk about, my DMs are open. You can send me a message on Discord and we can totally talk about this anytime. Because that is like, I want to be there for people and be helpful, but I also don't want to make the whole stream be super heavy and you know, you want it to be positive. At the end of the day, like that's what I want my streams to be. So I would just say to like, let them say their piece for a minute and then just say, hey, let's talk about this later because I'm here for you.
I like that. I think the most important part of that is just acknowledging. Acknowledging the people in the chat, you know, because some people it takes a lot of strength to be vulnerable like that and to say something, you know, especially to a group of complete strangers. Yeah. You know, so I think it's great that you as the streamer acknowledge that and like you said, then offer another safe space where you can talk about it later, because you don't want the focus of your stream to necessarily be about that. I mean, I guess if you want to, by all means, but at the same time, like you're there to play a game, you're there to engage with your followers and the people in the chat and be able to still, you know, have fun. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's escapism and it's entertainment. So if you're only focusing on super sad stories like the whole time, then it's going to be a real downer of a stream for a long time. So
definitely. And I too just, making sure that that you're paying attention to the chat. And so if something toxic does come up, to be aware of it and take care of it quickly as possible, because no one wants that. Yeah. No one wants that.
Something also for streamers to be aware of too is don't self-promo in other people's streams, because you can get banned for that. And it's also considered like really inappropriate to be like on someone else's stream, enjoying their content and be like, by the way, I'm awesome and you should follow me because I'm going to go live right now. Like no one wants to see that. They're not there for you. They're there for the other streamer. And you're just
I only do that. I only do that with my friends.
Because that's totally fine. Yes. If you actually know the person and like you can, you know, that's completely normal. Because I do that with my friends too. If I'm on their stream, I'm like, okay, I got to go because I'm going to start my stream, you know. But if you're on some big streamer's page and you just want to have eyes see the fact that you're going live and you're a streamer, like chances are you're going to get banned.
Well, and if you create a community with other streamers, you can do that organically. Yes. You can raid each other's streams. That's one of my favorite things about podcasting is meeting other podcasters, especially other gaming podcasts, and you can support each other. Like, don't like if you're going to be that person, make sure that you're supporting someone so that they can support you and not just making it all about you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not a war, right? Like we would all love for our shows and streams to just go big, right? But there's also the humble side of it and really wanting to create this nurturing and organic kind of feel and flow when we're interacting and just having fun. Like it's all about having fun and enjoying what you're doing. And if you're just kind of at it as a cutthroat kind of just, I just want to make it big for myself and that's all I want. Like there's just not a big place for that.
And people can tell, people can feel that if you're not being genuine, if you're just being like, I don't know, just in it for a money grab. Like, no, that's, you're not going to, there's so many other streamers, so many other podcasts. No one is going to care, you know?
Exactly.
So many easier ways to get money.
I think a lot of podcasters and streamers know this isn't a huge money grab.
Oh
yes. This is not my main source of income.
Not yet.
Man,
not yet. Not yet. Yeah.
Let us in could just make it to critical role level. I'll be fine.
Oh goodness. Well, and just to real quick, while we're still talking about Twitch, again, make sure you guys go follow Astra Orbits. I put the link there in the chat, or her handle in the chat, and then I also put Stephanie and Lindsey and I we share a channel with our podcast, Cutscenes Pod. So you guys can go follow us there if you want. And then also Erika is at On to Win Gaming. Give her some love. And then Collin, every now and then he does it Stolen Droids. So I threw that in there too. But before we wrap up, any other quick thoughts about online gaming etiquette?
It's not all negative.
No.
There's
A lot of
amazing
not.
experiences that you can have for
Just
sure.
try it.
And you can
Yeah.
create. You can be. I think it starts with you and your attitude, for sure.
I mean, people
Cool.
get married in
Any
Animal
other final
Crossing
thoughts
every
before-
day, right?
Yeah.
Technically, you can also get married in ESO.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There
There
was
was-
Mara.
There's a really wholesome over the pandemic where someone passed away due to COVID, and I think it was on Elder Scrolls. They held a funeral on it for that person. Like,
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
been a few.
there's wholesome stuff, and it can be kind of scary, but like, get out there and play some games.
Yeah. It's
And I-
more
and I would
good
say-
than it is bad. I
Yes,
say.
yes.
Yes.
And you have to believe that.
But when
And I
the
was gonna
bad
say
comes up, you have to
too-
know to combat it.
Yes, and having friends that you play with regularly that can take your mind off of the negatives that happen every single day, in real life, not just in video games, but having that escapism for me is so helpful for my own mental health, and just having those positive interactions and hanging out on people's streams or listening to those podcasts that really uplift me and help me, kind of see my perspective. Like, okay, this problem isn't that bad. It seemed terrible 5 minutes ago, but now it's not that bad because I let off some steam, and so, but I agree. I think that overwhelmingly the internet is, on gaming wise, is more positive than it is negative.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you guys for all of your thoughts, and everybody who commented. You were awesome in the chat. Thank you so much for your
Seriously.
comments. I'm sorry we didn't get to highlight everybody, but just know we definitely saw that, and we really appreciate you guys all participating. So I am going to go ahead and announce the prize winner for our raffle. Just a quick reminder, and we also just posted it in the chat there, to please join us in donating to JDRF, which is Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. You can do that at givebutter.com/Utah RemoteCon2. I'm going to put the banner up again, so it's scrolling there. And the prize for this panel is a couple of Animal Crossing prints by Frignonomy, and also a magnet from Noob Mama Comics. And the winner, please, drum roll, is Paul Draper.
Hey,
Paul,
congrats.
Paul is awesome. He's a magician, you guys. You should check him out.
Cool.
Yeah. He's
Wait, like an
amazing. Some of our-
actual magician?
like an actual magician.
Yes.
Like does like magic? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he used to do it for Disney all the time.
That's so cool.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Name
actually going to
dropping.
be on some of our panels later this week.
Yeah.
weird.
we have
Hey,
a full
guys.
Mother week next week, so
It's
Yeah.
true. And we also have another gaming panel coming up right after this. It's PlayStation Through the Years, and it's going to be put on by Nerd Corporation Podcast. So I got to go get them started now. So you guys, thank you again so much for being on this panel. And we really are just, I love gaming. I just want to go play games now. I don't want to do panels. Okay, bye you guys.
bye guys.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.